เอาเลยครับผมสวัสดีทุกท่านกันด้วยเลยครับ เราจะไปทางไหนก่อนโอเคน่าจะเป็นทางนี้ครับไปต่อเลยกับเจอร์ฮาเลน
What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah.
รู้สึกอะไรอีกแล้วเหรอ
It's that voice.
The will of Dana's astral energy.
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
จะบอกนะ last boss อีกแล้วเกิดอะไรขึ้นน่ะความทรงจ
That was the spirit channeling ceremony
ำ
just
เห็นกันทุกคนใช่ไหมเนี่ย
No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... Like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her. It reminds me of Shion's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe... Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that? If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dana.
But the will of Dana is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions, I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dana's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure.
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over theories will get us nowhere.
Let's keep moving. If it's Dana's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth, then I want to find out more.
Shion's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, there could be truths in them I was never aware of. And I think they may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if we're going to keep fighting.
I'm sorry about what I said earlier. Come on, let's go.
Finally, we begin to understand what the thorns are.
Yes, and their source. A ceremony that occurred 3 centuries ago.
But we still don't know how to get rid of them. I just hope we can find a way. Soon, we might very well learn the truth behind Shion's thorns. As well as my own past. I have to be ready to face anything.
มันต้องมีเงื่อนง
Whatever, I'm determined to save Shi. Hold up, you guys.
What is it?
I want to look through that room over there. I'm curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right? Sure. We can check it out. This looks like some kind of research facility.
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone. Why am I past being surprised at this point?
Looks pretty deserted.
Let's check it out. It might give us a new lead.
I think I can make this work.
ำมินิฮาร์ดให้ทีหนึ่ง
Well, can you make head or tail of it?
These are experiment records by the looks of it. Reams of them, dating back hundreds of years. Let's see. A composite being capable of controlling Danan astral energy so as to convert its molecular and elemental makeup. The creation of a governing central figure taking the form of a Danan. Codename Sovereign.
Sovereign.
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of stable astral energy containment. That must be the master cores. With all this raw data, there's bound to be records here somewhere about the Maiden and the Lords, too.
About the Lords? Why would they be on there?
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with those of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise regular Renin citizens. In other words, it may be that all Renins are unwittingly being made subject to some kind of grand scheme.
What about the Sovereign? Does it say anything else?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here. To sift through all of it would require specialized... Wait.
What is it? Did you find something?
It's a list of names, with the title Test Subjects, Sovereign. It's your call.
Read it.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. All of them failures. Wait, I think I've found one that was successful. Test subject number 1273. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Alphen.
They re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Alphen.
It's fine, really. What about the others? Was I the only one?
Test subject number 10105. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Volron.
Volron? But that means...
He's only sovereign because someone made him that way too.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Volron are the only 2 subjects on whom the experiment was a success.
But what about the winners of the crown contests? Does this mean that none of them were ever crowned sovereign after all?
Upon victory, the sovereign shall return to Rena and rule over Rena and Lenegis combined. When a new sovereign is decided, the outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post and live out the rest of their days on Rena. So we were told. But according to these records, there have only ever been 2 sovereigns, neither of whom had anything to do with the crown contest. It's all lies, including the part about the sovereign residing in Rena. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have been devised for some other purpose.
But even supposing that's true, someone must have been in charge for the past 3 centuries, right? If it wasn't the sovereign, then who was it?
Crown contests have been held this whole time, in spite of the fact that there was already a sovereign. Me. Meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie. The same person I'm willing to bet is behind all this.
The Red Woman? It's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's the mastermind behind this scheme. She could be working for someone else. Someone back on the Renan homeworld.
Either way, it's fair to say she's definitely involved somehow.
What about the data records? Is there no other information that could help us?
Not that I can see. Just file upon file of experiment results. There's nothing here about who's behind all this, or what their endgame is, unfortunately. I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you. You won't be able to read through it all, but you're welcome to take a look through what you can, while we're here.
I'll do that.
So this is where Alphen became the sovereign, and Volron as well. The significance of this location
Forbidden
would
Zone.
suggest...
Hey,
ไหนล่ะครับเนี่ยเอ Forbidden Zone อ๋อ ใกล้ๆนี่เอง
it looks like the terminals in here turned on too.
We should look through them. They might contain valuable information.
ๆนี่ไงพระเอกของเราตองต้นเลื่อนเลยโดนใส่หน้ากากภาพนิมิตนี้น่าจะเห็นกันทุกคนนะ
Hey, Ori, I...
Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dana. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
But you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill. I'm sorry for what you've endured. Renan never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain. Time to go, Elfin. Farewell.
Naori.
His injuries are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode. The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system. But... If I don't head back, Lenegis will be nothing but ashes, and this starship along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Alphen. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try. I hope it's enough. Please, live for me, Alphen.
เรียบร้อย เนื้อเรื่องปฏิปต่อกันละ
That vision. It must have been from when Naori helped Alphen escape Lenegis.
She sure went above and beyond the call of duty.
Even with Lenegis crumbling down around her, she chose to stay put with her people.
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain, and why you were asleep for that whole time. It was all the result of one agonizing decision Naori made to save your life.
Yeah. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't even be alive today. I owe her everything. More than I could ever hope to repay.
Now that you know how she felt, how do you plan on honoring her wishes?
She kept her promise. If the Renan people she fought so desperately to protect are at risk from a malevolent force, then I owe it to her to carry on her fight. Naori was the one who put that mask on me.
โตเซฟแล้ว
The Iron Mask.
ไป
She
น่าจะ
did
ไป
it
ทาง
to
นี้นะ
prevent your soul from tearing itself apart. She knew you might lose your memories and sense of pain as a result. But more than anything, she wanted you to survive. And you did.
เฮฟวี่อะไรเฮฟวี่เราซื้อมาเยอะแล้วมากไม่มีอะไรเลยอุตส่าห์วิ่งมาน่าจะมีให้หน่อยนะพี่โอ้โห
This place. We've seen this in one of Naori's
นึ
memories.
กว่าเป็นที่กว้าง
Of course.
ไปสู้กับบอสอีกทีอะไรเงี้ยแท่นวางเลยปะเนี่ย
After 300 years, this is where it was held. The spirit channeling ceremony. This is where the Renaissance was.
So this is the place where you and Naori...
The Renaissance isn't here now. Nor is the Red Woman, it seems.
I know it's difficult, Alphen, but there will be time to dwell on the past later. For now, we need to keep moving. Come on.
What is this? Is it the work of Dana's will again?
It's been a year since the ceremony. That day, I shut away inside of myself the power that caused Alphen to lose control. Since then, my visions of the future have grown more and more fearsome.
Is this another memory? No, it's different this time. It's like she's speaking directly to us.
What we did back then. Not so much as a day passes when I don't think about it. About what was done to us. All in the name of a ceremony. The purpose of which we were never even told. As Sovereign, they linked Alphen's consciousness to Lenegis itself. The Renis Alma was intended to control his power, lest anything should slip through its cracks. That day, as Maiden, my role was to temper his power. I was meant to guide it forth, and give shape to the strength inside of him.
Linked to Lenegis itself? But then, everything that's been happening...
But that power showed me a vision. A vision of oblivion. When I realized that vision was a prophecy of the apocalypse we were about to unleash, I couldn't go through with it. But without a maiden, the ceremony was doomed. Alphen lashed out, his consciousness no longer his own. I did what I could. Using my abilities as the maiden, I tried to seal that power away inside of me. But it was too late. Lenegis had already been brought to its knees. Thousands upon thousands of lives so cruelly snuffed out. All because of me. Because of what I had done. With the destructive force now slumbering inside of me, I knew I had to find a way to dispose of it. Anything to make up for my failure. But I didn't know how. Especially since that power was astral energy itself. In which case, ironically enough, the Renis Alma seemed to be my best bet. That, at least, would hold the astral energy dormant. Assuming that no malevolent third party got to it first. With the Sovereign and Maiden's combined power, perhaps I could shift the chaotic energy inside me into the Renis Alma instead. That's what I hoped, but alas, it was not to be. The Renis Alma was lost, and Alphen, the Sovereign, was in a starship bound for Dana. My only choice was to seal away the destructive force inside of me using my powers as the Maiden, to buy the world what little time I could. The time needed for a new Renis Alma to be crafted, and for a new Sovereign to appear. Even if by doing so, it meant I would be passing the curse on to my descendants as well. Please, forgive me. I never meant to burden the future world with this threat too. I only wish that there was something more I could have done.
Wait, you can't just...
Naori.
That message just now, was it directly from Naori? Or was it the Danan voice speaking through her?
"กลับสู่ร่างเดิมจ้า"
What?
These are the clothes that Naori and I wore during the ceremony 3 centuries ago.
So you're saying this is the Maiden's outfit?
That's right. These clothes are designed to resonate with the Sovereign and Maiden's abilities. They focus and enhance them.
And they appeared now because...
Naori must have left them here for the new Sovereign and Maiden, knowing the day would come when they would need them in their fight against the Thorns.
These outfits are directly linked to the answers we've been chasing this whole time. If they're here, it must mean it was Naori's will for us to find those answers as well.
Locating the Renis Alma would allow us to neutralize the dark astral energy inside Shion, thereby silencing her thorns. Is that what Naori's suggesting?
It makes sense. After all, Master Cores and Spirit Vessels are both able to prevent the astral energy inside them from developing sentience. By that logic, it would stand to reason that the Renis Alma would have the same ability on a larger scale.
We have a Maiden and Sovereign. Now all we need is the Renis Alma, and we'll finally be able to free you of your thorns. Shion.
It's possible? You really think so?
I do. We can rid you of your thorns and stop the world from falling to oblivion.
However, the spirit channeling ceremony already failed once. Even if our goal is different this time, we can't be sure the same thing won't happen again. We should take care not to be too optimistic.
You're right. It's the barest sliver of a chance. But if there's even the slightest hope it can work, I'm willing to stake everything I've got on it.
I know it's too early to let myself feel relieved, but I just can't seem to help it. Just hearing there's the slightest chance, even though I know the world's still in great peril. It's selfish of me, I know, but still.
No, it isn't! You found hope to believe in. It'd be strange if you weren't over the moon about it.
Rinwell's right. We can rid you of your curse and still save the world at the same time.
Thank you. Naori entrusted us with the fate of all humanity. Now, it's up to us to prove that trust was well placed.
Starting with a little game called Hunt the Renis Alma.
Yeah, we've come all this way. Now we just need to search Lenegis and Rena until we find it.
Yeah! We can protect the world and save Shion at the same time!
I too shall lend my services. My knowledge of Renin lore is bound to be a useful asset.
And they say modesty is dead.
Miracles just seem to follow wherever you go, huh?
How do you know it's me they're following? We're all in this together, Shion. You included. Now let's get moving, shall we? Last I heard, we had an apocalypse to stop. Thank you, Naori. So Naori sealed away the power that made me lose control of myself. She stopped my rampage and saved my life. But then, that power she'd sealed away was passed down to you. I'm so sorry, Shion. It's my fault that you're cursed.
You're wrong. What happened to you was because of the ceremony, and Naori's attempt to stop Oblivion. You paid a heavy price for it, and then fell asleep for 300 years. The reason you lost your memories
Is the reason for your curse.
the thorns.
It all leads back to them. But once they're gone, we can finally put an end to all this.
When my thorns are gone, I never dared to dream that such a thing could be possible. No, the truth is, I think maybe I've always been dreaming about a life without my thorns. The touch of my family, or playing with my friends, holding hands with Rinwell, or giving Law a deserved smack, embracing everyone. All the normal things that people do together. I always wished I could experience them for myself, and finally know what they were like. Is it really okay for me to believe it can happen?
I'm so scared of getting my hopes up. What if it doesn't work out in the end, and...
That's not going to happen. I'm here to make sure it won't. Forget fate or destiny or anything else. We're going to live a normal life. There are a lot of things you still want to do, right?
Yeah, you're right. It's such a strange feeling. I know that we've still got plenty of fighting up ahead, and it's for my sake, so I can live.
You're worth fighting for.
I believe you, Alphen.
Good. I'll keep on fighting. For as long as it takes. Until our future is finally in our hands.
เวลอัพแต่ไม่มีแต้มอัพเลยอ่ะหมด เฮ้ยได้ชุดใหม่ว่ะเสือยไปดูไอเทมดิเดี๋ยวคลิปเมนต์เลยชุดใส่ไปแล้วดาบนี่จะเป็นดาบตัวนี้เห็นสกินได้อยู่ปืนไม่มีอะไรใหม่ชุดใส่ไปแล้วโอเคไปไหนอะที่เดิมใช่ไหมไม่ใช่ที่เดิมเด็ดแต่เป็นที่ใหม่นี่ตรงนี้
That's quite some door, all right. This might finally be it. The heart of the beast.
We'll find the Renis Alma and the Red Woman inside, right?
After everything we've been through to get here, they damn well better be.
We'll probably be needing you to open this one for us, Sovereign.
Go for it, Alphen.
This is it, guys. Time to see what secrets are in store.
Nóเต็มหมดแล้วมั้งเอาซะหน่อยเต็ม100%วิ่ง29คัดซีน88 9
Volron! He really was still alive.
ยังไม่ตายอีกเหรอ
And there's the Renis Alma. Then, is this another spirit channeling ceremony?
Wait, though. Something doesn't seem right here.
Once more, the powers must be united. Born from the fires of chaos, the world does seek its rightful state. All must be sacrificed in the heart of Rena, at the shrine of the true sovereign.
What has happened to him? He's lost himself, reduced to a mere cog in the machine.
Hey, look! Over there!
Isn't that the Maiden's crest?
Can it be that this entire chamber is meant to act as a substitute for the Maiden?
It looks like it's still running, but are we already too late to stop the ceremony?
If that's what caused Lenegis' transformation, then the purpose of the ceremony must
มี
have
ส่วน
been
บุญ
to
ด้วย
drain
วะ
all the astral energy out of Dana.
But for what purpose? What could possibly need astral energy on that sort of scale?
I don't know. But whatever it is, I'll bet it's connected to those visions of oblivion. Regardless, we cannot stand by and let them steal Dana's energy. That said, we should retrieve the Renaissance. Because right now, we need that most of all.
He's not gonna lunge at us out of nowhere, right?
Not the time, Law.
Alvin, look!
The Red Woman! So we finally found you.
เด็กหญิงเสื้อแดง
I have a lot of questions for you.
Wait!
What?
They all have the same face?
ชิบหายแล้วไม่ได้มีคนเดียวด้วยนี่เด็กหรือว่าผู้ใหญ่วะเนี่ยเอ๊ะแปลงร่างได้ด้วย
What is this?
นี่มันอะไรกันครับเนี่ย
It can't. Are they even people?
It's hard to know for sure, but I think they're the true rulers of Rena.
เวล48เลนบูเมนชิบหายละ
It's no use, Alvin. If we don't fight, we may as well be sitting ducks here.
Good point. Let's stop them before this gets out of hand.
เบรกเบรกเบรก
That'll bring you down. Not in your dreams.
อัดไป เยอะ
Flame inside me yearns to be let free. No escape. Not today.
Illuminate the dark. Magic and war matter.
ๆ โอ้ไม่
Armor won't save you.
ไอเทมก็ ชิบหายละ
Illuminate the dark. Elusive deity. This one's mine. You're done. That'll bring you down. Shield. Raging cascade.
โอ้
To the wind. Not on my watch.
Take this.
Leave the twilight to me!
Illuminate the dark. Holy glimmer.
Heal. Here I come.
Holy light. Photon. Inspiration. Elusive deity. That frickin' does it.
Pile driver. Dust to dust. That frickin' does it. Try harder. Another incantation ruined. Coming through.
มา
Now. Scarlet Inferno. I'm on it. I'll tear you apart. Ignite.
โดนไหมเนี่ย
Lightning cascade.
ชิบหายแล้วไม่โดน
Azure Storm. Far enough.
Holy lamp.
Blast burn.
This one's mine.
Try harder. My turn. Dragon Shell. No escape. Inferno punch.
โอ้
This is the wind. Air thrust. Photon.
What is this? Hey.
เอ้ยไม่ได้แล้วเดมอน
You okay? I can still.
ไม่ค่อยโอเค
Azure Storm.
Confiscated.
Rising Wyvern. No escape.
Air thrust. Magic
Inside me.
ฮิว
Azure Storm. Can't get out of this.
Lightning
You're mine. Seismic rupture.
Illuminate the dark. Magic and
Ignite. Now you see what I can do. I'm not done.
If it's in the sky, it's mine.
A debut performance. Perfect knuckle.
Where are you going?
Azure Storm.
ยังโหดเลย
Not in your dreams.
I'll finish you here and Ignite. Azure Storm. These fists have got your name on them.
โอ้ my god ไม่นะ
Eat this. Talon Storm.
ยาสวย
Let the Photon
I'll crush
ไว้
you! Lightning reflexes! Tenebrous claw!
แตกหนึ่งไหม
Look sharp! Lightning tiger blade!
Photon blast!
แตก3เลยว่ะ เกือบตาย
Surrender! Fighting is useless now!
Do you think it's really over?
Astral energy. Watch out! They've got something up their sleeve.
What?
It's self-destructed?
Alvin!
I'm okay. Just
Hilo.
a little roughed up.
โล่น้อยมาจากไหนวะ
Had me worried there.
Who said you could touch that?
Damn it! He's awake!
I should have thought as much. So you know this place? Naturally. It was built for me, after all. We'll save that for another time. More pressing is how I'm going to tear you apart. Even after all this time, you still insist on hating me? You cut me down. Sovereign or not, you will pay for that.
You're obviously bluffing. You can't even move right now.
Really, is that what you think? Did you really think that such a petty device could hold me?
Are you going to claim it's because you're a ruler? Be it sovereigns or lords. In the end, they're all titles given by someone else.
Plus, what kind of ruler would spend all his time chasing Alf, who happens to be another sovereign?
Idle prattle. I proved my worth and the Sovereign's powers were granted to me.
Were they really? We already know the title of Sovereign doesn't denote royalty. It is but an overblown code name for those with a designated part to play in these proceedings. You mentioned before that you were not the only one stolen from Dana, correct?
Yeah. There were countless. And every one of them besides me died.
All of those failed experiments, and they still kept going back to Dana. There must have been some vital reason their subject had to specifically be a Danan. Then there were the records we found in the library, for you and Volron. They were logged 300 years apart, and yet the data they took from you was exactly the same. Which leads us to a single conclusion.
Then you mean Boron was kidnapped just like Alphen? But then he became a...
A slave from Dana. Just like us. Isn't that right, Volron?
So he posed as a Renin and caused all that suffering to his own people?
How could you? If you knew the pain of being a slave, why would you inflict that upon others?
Renin and Danan are meaningless distinctions. Me and everyone else. That is all that matters. I will stand above all others and take what is rightfully mine, starting with this.
A red woman?
Another one?
Give your master back on Rena this message. No one makes a fool of me. Let them know I'll make them suffer.
Don't do it!
Serenus Alva!
วิ่งหนีเลย เฮ้ย น้องออน โอ้โห เป็นรูปหัวใจด้วยตรงนั้น โดดเร็ว trust me please ตั้งลำก่อน ยังได้อยู่แม่ตกใจหมด
Go. But no, I will be your shadow no matter where you try to run.
Let's go.
ไปกันเถอะ ไม่ต้องห่วงมัน
Never forget, I am the one who devours everything, who answers to neither spirit nor man. My word is law. I am.
Are you two okay?
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Is Volron... Have we finally seen the last of him?
We can but hope.
Those red women. What the heck was their deal?
Could they be the ones behind all this? The same ones who put those soldiers in Faria in a trance?
What? Those brainless things? Either way, they've done a runner with the Renaissance. Damn it, that's the second time now!
Whatever's stolen from us, we'll steal it back. The future's ours to protect. And right now those things are what's standing in our way. We can head them off at Rena.
Did you say Rena?
Volron mentioned a master of theirs holed up in the motherland somewhere.
If that monstrous form's their true identity, I shudder to think who they take orders from.
Yeah. There's a good chance it's not human. That's for sure.
So this thing over on Rena, that's what's really behind all this, huh?
They have the Renaissance in their grasp already, so it's unlikely they'll have cause to return to Dana. I agree that Rena's our best shot.
Then we're agreed. Let's head back to the starship.
But seriously, I was not expecting Volron to actually be here.
He seemed to care
back.
not one whit about Renans or Danans.
ไป
Yeah, and not in a good way like with us.
Starship and so fly เอ๊ะนี่หรือเปล่า อ้าว ไม่ใช่หรอกหรือไหนนะตรงนี้ เราจะต้องเดินทางกลับไป ไป ผมว่าคงได้เจอพวกมอนสเตอร์อะไรอีก แน่ๆเลย ทางนี้แล้วบอกว่าไม่ใช่ ข้างหลังข้างหลัง น่าจะเป็นฝั่งตรงข้าม นี่ประตูนี้แน่นอนเลย มันวาร์ปไปไม่ได้นะครับ ก็ต้องวิ่งไป ตรงนี้ปะถูกต้องแล้ว โ ฮ้ยโอ้โหเจอจนได้
Go no further! Wind astral energy!
Azure Storm!
Chinese supernova! Not on my watch!
Try harder! Now! You're mine!
This one's got your name on it!
Action to action!
Radiant storm! Easter!
Double demon
เคสท่าใหม่วะ
Firmament render!
Swallow dance! I'll smash you!
Now!
Blackened blade!
Astral energy! Full throttle!
ปืนแรงจัด600 1,000น้อยเกินไปเดี๋ยวค่อยไปอัพแล้วกันนะครับ
But a victory nonetheless.
We have a long way yet to go.
That enemy looks strong. I bet it'll be worth our while to fight it.
ที่นี่มัน
Looks like trouble with a capital T! Together we've got this!
Thunder field!
Slash!
Dance in the
Swallow
wind!
blade! Take double demon fang!
Photon! It's like trying to
In a
keep up with
bind?
a wall!
Rising wyvern!
Here's dance in the wind! That'll bring you down!
I'm not done!
I'm ready! Shield! Go for it!
Prepare to crumble!
Vanquish darkness!
Here I come!
Confiscated!
Damn it! Do back!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
Let astral energy!
I'm not done!
In here!
Rising falcon! Do it! Double demon
Let
fang!
astral energy!
โอ้ย
You're mine!
ผมไม่ทันอย่างนั้นเหรอ
More for the showtime! A whirling struggle! Magic
Blast the
advance!
shock! Double demon fang! Rending you are bloody! Here I go! I'm ready!
Firmament render!
แล้วของก็เป็นของเรา
I don't know when it happened, but we sure are hauling a lot of stuff these.
I was just.
We should
No way!
But that.
Well, what about simple, pretty art?
stop it all I... Oh.
My deep.
Yeah,
I guess I'll.
Yeah.
Hey! Poodle's
คน
quivering!
ยิ่งรีบอยู่
We're about to be real lucky!
ไปทางไหนวะ อ๋อทางนี้แหละถูกต้องแล้ว เอ๊ะ เก็บแล้วเรียบร้อย โอ้ my god ไม่เอาไม่เอาไม่เอา ไม่เล่นด้วยไม่เล่นด้วย
What the? When did it get pitch dark all of a sudden?
The lights are all out. Think it has something to do with the explosion back in the Forbidden Zone?
Doe?
You two.
Faria, Avakir. Thank goodness you're safe.
Avakir filled me in about everything. About how I ambushed you all.
She doesn't remember a thing. So she really was being controlled.
He told me about Tarnigan, too. Is it true?
What difference does it make? What's done is done.
Stop casting me off, just for once!
Faria, not now. It can wait. Dohalim, Lenegus is in grave peril.
So I can see.
It's the city's core reactor. It's damaged. Some of the basic systems we've managed to keep online, but complete restoration's still a way off.
You're an elite technician, though. You can fix it, right?
If so, then what's the problem?
Panic's begun to set in among the citizens. Until now, whenever something like this happened, the Sovereign would issue a decree. But this time, not so much as a peep. Any longer, and we run the risk of riots breaking out before we can get things back up and running.
Forget the Sovereign. I doubt you'll be hearing from him anytime soon.
What's that supposed to mean? Do you know something I don't?
Suffice it to say, the Sovereign isn't the kind of ruler we thought he was. That is, if he ever even existed, which is looking doubtful at this stage.
Are you out of your mind? Why, if people knew that a lord such as yourself was whispering such blasphemy, they'd—
There's no time to explain now. It sounds like we need to find a way to keep Lenegus from spiraling out of control.
We need to stop that riot.
But how do we do that?
Riots feed on discontent and unrest, right? So if we want to keep the peace, we just need to put people's minds at ease.
At ease? Like by letting them hear directly from someone they trust. That's it. Who's the highest-ranking person in Lenegus right now?
Lenegus wouldn't have a next in line. After all, you said the Sovereign rules over everyone directly, right?
Correct. The closest thing to an authority figure would be a lord, and the only one left is... Ah, very well then. Avakir, you mentioned a few facilities were still online. Which ones?
Why hasn't the Sovereign said anything?
Please, won't somebody explain what's going on?
Is it over? What's going to happen to all of us?
Heed me now, fellow Renans of Lenegus. It is I, Lord Dohalim Ilkaris of Eldaman and Sia.
Look up there! It's Lord Dohalim!
Hold on! He should be in the crown contest! Shouldn't he? Why isn't the Sovereign talking to us?
The Sovereign is seeing to other matters right now. In my capacity as Lord, I speak to you in his stead. You're afraid. As people so often are when faced with the unknown. I hope you'll allow me to put your fears to rest. The city's core reactor has experienced a malfunction. However, we have our top engineers attending to the matter, and things will soon be back to normal. I know that you feel abandoned, perhaps more scared and alone than ever before. But I ask you all to keep one thing in mind. You are Lenegus, not the Lords and Sovereign. The solidarity of its citizens is the mortar that holds it together. If we don't allow ourselves to be distracted by our differences, if we put our hearts and minds together and stand as one, I am confident we will find new hope. I would be honored to stand with you. Not as a person of loftier rank, but as another human being among many. I hope that you'll lend me your strength, for if we can persevere as one, I know a bright tomorrow awaits.
Your speech seems to have done the trick. Looks like the city won't be descending into chaos after all.
I only pray the relief will tide the city over for the time being.
What you said earlier, about the Sovereign possibly not even existing, was it true?
It's still too premature to say with any certainty, but I believe so. This whole time, this world we've been fed was a lie, built on nothing but falsehoods.
But it can't all have been...
I can believe it. After everything I saw in the Forbidden Zone, what they did to Faria, it's the only explanation that makes sense.
But what about hierarchy, Avakir? Authority? The very foundations of Renan society? How can we live without someone to guide us?
I'd say we found someone capable of doing just that, wouldn't you?
You? You can't be serious.
I have business I must take care of first. But once everything is over, I shall return. But not as your sovereign, nor as a leader the likes of which the people here are used to, I think.
But how else do you propose to rule?
I'm not sure yet. All I have is a feeling that here in Lenegis, a new dawn is on the verge of breaking. One in which people won't be judged by birthright or on the power of their astral arts, but on other things. More important things. Things like, oh, I don't know, musical talent, for example.
When I bumped into you after all those years, I said you were no different. But I was wrong. Truth is, you were always different. I feel like maybe now I can finally begin to accept Turnigan's death. To see a future.
You go finish whatever it is you've got to do. I'll hold down the fort here in Lenegis till you get back.
Thank you.
I guess you're not going to make it to Menancia for the foreseeable future, huh?
Indeed. Forgive me.
The people of Elda Menancia can look after themselves just fine. It's the ones here on Lenegis who need someone to guide them. Besides, with you leading the people here, it'll help spread the idea of coexistence beyond Menancia's borders that much faster.
Sounds like you're in it for the long haul.
How could I not be, after the second chance that I've been granted? From this day forth, I shall dedicate myself to the future inhabitants of this world. Though the memories of the departed shall remain forever in my heart.
Remember, you're going to be leading the people here, not ruling them.
True enough. Whatever would I do without you, Kisara?
With or without her, I suspect you're gonna have your hands full when the time comes. We should be heading back to the ship. Business on Rena awaits.
อยู่อัพเรียบร้อย
Looks like the
โอ
people
เค
of Lenegis
ถึง
can
ตอนนี้
rest
ก็
I couldn't have done it
ตัด
without
ครับผ
your
ม
words of encouragement.